Scorpio rising, we're here for another monthly life checkup for the month of July 2024. My name's Podkane. If you don't know what your rising sign is, check the link in the description below to get your full natal chart. You're looking for your ascendant sign, which is another word for rising sign. And as a fellow Scorpio rising, I've been waiting through 7 different readings just to get to this point. So let me show you what cards we're going to be doing this with. We've got messages from your animal spirit guides. We're going to get an oracle card here for you first. Then we're going to use these 2 decks to do 2 full astrological spread wheels. A total of 24 cards. It's usually more than that. First, it's going to be the So Below deck for the outer wheel of work and relationships, home, just what's going on in the practical matters of your life. And then we're going to use the So Above deck to get the more inner workings and spiritual matters of what's really going on, of who you are and what you value, secrets, aspirations, achievements, all the good stuff. And then at the end, I've got a spell deck here. I'm going to pull a spell card for us if you're interested in the witchy stuff. Otherwise, just leave it where it is. But I find them to be interesting, even if I'm probably not going to do it. Just me personally, I'm a little pragmatic. But anyway, I am going to pause here and pull these cards first because it does take quite a while. So I'll see you after I get those pulled. Okay, Scorpio rising, we pulled 2 cards for you today. We've got the Seagull. Now is a time for deep emotional healing. And the Rattlesnake. The experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. Honestly, I don't want to see this for me personally. I want to see you're a boss bitch and you're going to make a lot of money or something like that. I feel like I already knew I'm probably going to get called out. We're all probably going to get called out. We're in this together. Okay, we've got first with how you appear, how people see you presently. We've got the Page of Wands reversed. So it could be some lack of enthusiasm, laziness. Maybe you're not really speaking up as much right now and your voice isn't really being heard, or maybe you're just not being listened to. Take what applies there, but it's definitely showing like a bit of low energy and maybe even some childishness. They see, and this is how they see you. Okay, that doesn't mean that's the truth, but they kind of see some childish behavior going on with skirting responsibilities or not really having anything of importance to say at this time. Next, we have, what do you have? We have the Lovers, which is a choice card. And this could mean that you have like a relationship that's ongoing in your life that's really giving a lot to you. But the real meaning of this card, because the 2 of Cups is up here, that's really the relationship and love card. The Lovers is about making a choice, whether you're going to go the way of materialism or the way of spirituality. It's sort of the fork in the road type of card. And with this being brought down to earth, it's saying right now you have a choice in front of you. Are you going to continue to skirt responsibilities, or are you going to do what you need to do to get what you want in life? And I hope I'm not putting too much of myself into that read. We'll see if I get verified on that one. What do you think? We've got the 3 of Swords. So, this may be some kind of heartbreak and feeling like you're separated from the things that you want. But this could also be kind of beating yourself up about not really taking this responsibility or not speaking up when you needed to, feeling low energy or being lazy or indulging in childish behaviors. And you're kind of like getting down on yourself like, man, why do I keep doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? This is not what I need to be doing. But with the emotional healing card here, there's something more to it. It's not just, oh, I didn't take care of my business and now I'm suffering the consequences. It's like maybe there's a fear of success. Maybe there's a feeling of unworthiness, or, if you're me, something for me, something I realized recently about myself is I can be deeply passive and non-bothered. And that came about because of traumatization and things of that nature, right? And now I'm looking at it as an adult and kind of having healed from most of the trauma, but being like, why don't I care? I don't care what people say or think about me. And it's been very much to my benefit in that respect. But then it also means that some situations that I should take seriously, I don't. Someone's that's very important to me is in front of me telling me like they're deeply distressed about something that's going on with our friendship or our relationship, or they're trying to solve an issue with me, and I'm just like, whatever, I just can't care. And there's some kind of basis there with being detached maybe to a fault, out of maybe a trauma or self-protection. That's just one example, but I'm bringing that up to kind of show you if that's your thing, and there it is. But also like something that traumatized you has created a coping mechanism that now is like, and it's benefited you greatly. So that's why you've kept it. But now is the time to reconsider the ways that it's also hurt you and is currently causing you problems. So what is going on at home? We've got the King of Wands. Either someone in your home has completely bossed up, which has happened for me, or you're kind of a boss in your own home where you're like, I'm the leader. I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to direct the situation here because I, feel like I know best, or I have the passion to do so, or I care the most, or whatever that may be. But there's a leadership happening in your home, whether that's you or whether that's another person, that has something to do with what's going on here this month. Next, we have your self-expression. We have the World reversed. You may not feel like you're ready to just step out in front of the public audience right now. I can tell you with this, for me, these readings have taken me like almost 3 weeks, and I'm still not through them. I'm on number 8. And yes, they take a long time, and it's emotionally taxing and everything else, but I've also needed so much sleep. I don't feel like it, this, that, the third. And I'm kind of upset with myself for making excuses because this is important to me. But I don't know. This reading better tell me something. But like I was saying, like, this is saying you're not feeling like you've really completed what you thought you need to do in order to step out into the world confidently with all the volume in your voice to speak your truth or to show up and be present for something. Maybe there's some, 4th of July, if you're American, some things going on and you're just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And, you're just, and the reason why this card is here is because there's other cards for withdrawing and being alone. This is showing that like there's either a need or a deeper desire to want to get your voice heard and be out there in the world, but yet there's something holding you back from doing that. And like that's the final card to the completion of it, the final piece of the puzzle of completing a cycle for you. And maybe that's part of why you feel like it's really important that you step out and show up and be present, have your voice heard, show what you have to offer. Maybe you feel like you haven't completed whatever it was that you thought was necessary prior to being able to show what you had to offer. Like, let's say you started a project and you were really excited about being able to share it with others, but like, it's just gone on and on and on, and you're just still making changes, still working on it, still haven't finished doing this one thing that you needed to do, or you've been putting it off or whatever. And so now you feel like, I'm ready, like, emotionally and mentally, I would really love to get some feedback and just finally finish this thing that I'm working on, but you can't because you haven't. Okay, take that how it resonates. Next we have work. What's going on there? It's the Sun reversed. I mean, it could be a little depressing right now at work. You may not feel like you're very seen there at this time. This could also be childish behaviors either around you or it's you that's being a little childish, or maybe you feel like you can't be exuberant and positive about your work situation right now. Maybe you go in and you're just like, this isn't really what I hoped it was, or things are not going as good as they used to be. I feel like there's nothing really to celebrate here. I'm not going to go running around saying, I love my job right now. It's a little bit of depression associated with your work right now. Next, we have a relationship, 5 of Pentacles. You may have noticed that your person, and this could be your spouse, a loved one, whoever is the closest person to you at this time, you may have noticed that they have felt like an outsider. And somehow that's important to you, in relationship to you, whether you inadvertently or on purpose made them feel like an outsider. But they didn't feel like maybe they had a place. Maybe they were uncertain of their role and their relationship with you. Maybe they feel like they are struggling to find that purpose in their relationship to you, or just in general. But especially this month, every single reading has really been like your person is a reflection of what's going on with you. They are othered, they're isolated, they aren't able to get into the cozy home or get into the VIP section or whatever it is that they're kind of striving for, metaphorically or literally. And as a reflection to you, you may have othered yourself. You may have felt like you don't belong in some way. Maybe you're not deserving of success or something like that. Moving on to what others have in relationship with what you have, we have the Hangman in reverse. So you're kind of looking at people going out and partying and dancing the night away and really being kind of self-indulgent. And you're looking at yourself having to make this choice. Do I want to continue being self-indulgent? Part of the purpose of the Hangman is to gain a new perspective when it's upright. And additionally to that, it's to develop oneself to the next level. You're going from a personal experience where you have like the emperor and the empress and the chariot and all those things that are very like well known to humans about how you express yourself as a feminine energy of being compassionate and caregiving, and receptive, or as a masculine energy of pushing for what you want in life and expressing yourself with confidence. All of these types of things. And now at the Hangman, it's turning inward. Now you're starting to look at the inner self, at the wounding, the things that need healing, looking at deeper subconscious motivations and things that are beyond the physical and beyond natural reality, things that could even be supernatural. And so you're here at this choice where you're like, okay, well, others are continuing to party and live it up and not sacrifice anything. But I'm being called to make a choice. Do I want to continue in that way, or am I ready to start making sacrifices, to start withdrawing from the world in some certain ways, or start to really empathize with others, putting oneself in their shoes and starting to live for something, a greater purpose other than myself. You're at like the threshold of this choice. What are you learning about? It's the 5 of Cups. You're learning about the 5 of Cups right now, which is the nature of healing and sorrow, of mourning, and also of approaching matters with a negative mindset versus a positive one. Because when this card is upright, it's really focusing in on the sorrow and the heartbreak that has happened, even though there is in the traditional card 3 cups turned over that the person is focusing on, but 2 cups still upright that there's still value. There's value in the experience. There's still good things that can happen to you in the world. And it's kind of the dichotomy between those 2 approaches to difficulties in our lives. So with this here about what you're learning, it could be about processing grief, first of all, and the idea that if you turn away from it, well, it may be helpful and useful in some circumstances and situations. there's also a value in focusing on the grief and on being present with it and experiencing it deeply and really thinking a lot about it. You know, when I was earlier talking about myself and I said that I just am not bothered, and that's kind of becoming a problem for me because I don't care enough about situations that I probably should. I'm learning more about, in this case, like something like that, where it's like, maybe it's a coping mechanism because I don't want to feel negative emotions. And so therefore I refuse to focus on them, but there's value in focusing on them. There is value in focusing on them. What is the value? I don't know yet. Let's find out more. What have we built? What has been created and concreted in our lives as a result of the habits and behaviors relevant here? We have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So this has been an ongoing thing. It's been happening for a long time. It's a mental cacophony, and it's also like just disturbance and distractions and just being distracted. And then there's also defensiveness. You're not focused. You're overly defensive. That's what has come as a result of kind of being childish and focusing on the self and on play and allowing people that you care about to be isolated from you and being too damn bossy. I told y'all this was going to be a call out spread. Next we have your friends and how they feel about you. It's the Two of Cups. I mean, people love you. They want to share with you. You have a lot to offer, a lot to give, definitely a lot of support, meaningful support. You have a lot to be grateful for and thankful for. And I kind of feel that making the choice to continue down this path of self-indulgence and play and concern with the self could put that at risk because your person is feeling othered here. And this could be just more than one person in your life, because this kind of suggests a wider circle of like, you know, don't take this lightly that people want to interact with you, people want to love you. There's kind of a responsibility in that as well. And what is the limitation this month? It's the Queen of Wands. I get this card for myself all the time. This is like, I'm a take charge leader, love myself to the nines. Like I don't need anybody but myself. Like this, now this queen is very helpful and compassionate in her own way. And she's a great protector. But even this type of energy can be done to too great an abundance. There's a need, I feel with these, there's a need to kind of step back and be willing to be led here. Let someone else take the reins. Shit. Okay. I'm going to read the next. I'm going to pull these next cards and we're going to get more information. So hang on. Okay. If you're still here, my fellow Scorpio rising, stay strong. This is a call out spread of all call out spreads. And it's, I'm over here thinking like, I can't even post this. I have to. This is a reckoning, man. All right. Who are you? It's literally this. It's the Hangman reverse. What I was talking about with this selfishness and wanting to, party and not willing to sacrifice anything, not willing to look inwards at oneself in this scenario, okay, about what you offer to others. What is your value to others? That's so much of what this spread is all about. Because we've been lying to ourselves. We aren't really that helpful to the people that we care about as much as we like to tell ourselves that we are. And as much as we like to tell them that we are, we just aren't. And it sucks. What do we value? Dependency. Nine of Pentacles reversed. Like either having people dependent on us It's not that though. It's dependency. It's you know, I'm saying we to make this a little bit easier for myself and for you. We feel that it's perfectly fine to be reliant on other people. And this is a core value. It's something that's not probably consciously thought about all that often. But it's like, yeah, I'll let them take care of this shared responsibility because it's fine. It's their responsibility too. It's a shared responsibility, right? Too comfortable with dependency on others. Too comfortable with letting others pick up our slack and do a lot of the heavy lifting in whatever area it may be. So for me, it's like practical things like keeping things clean and taking care of practical business, but it could be something different for you. It could be emotional heavy lifting of like, I don't really want to, sort through all of my emotions. I've got big feelings about this and I'm going to express them with a vomit of the mouth. And then my person can be supportive for me. Like, where's the support for them? That kind of thing. Or I don't want to think too much about this, so I refuse to. I'm going to let them figure out everything. I'm going to let them do the research and I'll just sit back and trust that they'll make a good decision. Now that's a lot of mental load. When you talk about like, with parents, and if one of the parents is, in the couple is doing all the mental load, like scheduling doctor's visits and knowing where the Pampers are and what's the best price to get them at, and like all of the different things of that nature. And then their partner's just over here benefiting from it, never having to know about any of that stuff or do any of those things themselves. And they're just benefiting because they're like, well, you're good at that, so why don't you just do it? Or I'm too busy with XYZ. There's always a million excuses. So being overly reliant and dependent on our partners, on people that are important to us in our life, is the call out here today. What needs to change? We've got the Page of Swords and the Five of Cups reversed. I think this is a couple things. Ready to speak and talk all about how, we've healed from that and we've moved on, or this doesn't really bother me. Not thinking deeply or thinking too deeply about how wonderful everything is. It's like there's a mental habit of looking on the bright side or being non-bothered about, because here's the Five of Cups again, right? Being non-bothered, being so optimistic and overly positive about ourselves to the point where it doesn't seem like any change is needed. This could also be resisting healing from a mental state of I already did it. Next, with what's driving you, we have the Nine of Wands reversed and the Two of Pentacles reversed. This isn't wanting to balance or do a give and take. This is avoiding juggling all the things that are going on in one's life because you're saying, I can't do it. You're already giving up in trying to meet the other person halfway. You've assumed a sort of weakness. You said it's hard. I was literally saying that while I was doing the pulling all these cards. I'm like, well, this is hard. No, it's fucking not. It's not that hard. We've just been driven by this concept that it is so that we can avoid meeting someone halfway or juggling all the things that have to happen in our lives as adults. Yeah, however that fits into your life emotionally or psychologically or practically. What needs to change? We have the Page of Pentacles reversed, and the Chariot, and the Four of Wands. First of all, you got to keep your mouth shut. Think before you speak, and start celebrating self-control. Because there's a willingness to act first and think later. There's a willingness to push oneself and one's ego into the situation before deeply considering, is this okay? Is this fair to my person? Is this the responsible choice? You've got to celebrate this sense of self-control. Because I think the desire to be free and very expressive and putting oneself out there has kind of led to this problem where now we've got an overabundance of that energy in ourselves. There's a great value, a value that builds, a value that works together in harmony with others to build things that are prosperous in having self-control. Especially when it comes to the things that we're saying and doing. Like there's this whole other aspect going on here. And we think it's just about, oh, I don't feel like I can be myself anymore, and I don't feel like my light is shining as brightly as it used to. But like the deeper purpose for all of that is that your light shining brightly started to become very selfish and started stepping on people's toes and hurting them. And that's got to be reined in. That's why you can't express yourself the way that you would like to at this time. And you're feeling like you're questioning yourself, is because you should be. Self-love, self-confidence, boldness, creative expression, all those things absolutely have their place, but there's a need for balance. We've got the balance card here with Justice. Because when it's taken too far, it just snuffs out other people's flames. It doesn't create space for them to exist. It others them. And I think that's escaped our awareness. I thought everybody can shine brightly and say whatever they want. And like, I don't get offended when someone says something that I don't like, so why should they? And, or it's like you forget that not everyone has the same thought process, the same values. They may not be as bold. Their voices may not be as loud, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve to be heard. And that they shouldn't be heard. Or some of us louder people shouldn't quiet down to allow for those voices to be heard. What are the details that you may miss that you need to be watching out for this month? Page of Pentacles reversed. Ace of Wands reversed. Eight of Wands reversed. Fool reversed. And the Ace of Cups reversed. There's a lot of negatives here, like a lot of don't do this kind of stuff. Not learning about the desire to slow down and take seriously emotional traumas of others. Those who are depressed, feeling down, feeling tapped out, feeling like they don't have hope or a lot of emotional resources and reserves. There's a need to slow down and get serious about these matters. And this is an opportunity to learn. And you've got to desire it. You've got to want to learn about taking emotional matters seriously. Okay. We can do this. It's important that we do this. It's very important that we do this. Here's why, okay? This sucks. Are other people in our lives, okay? How are they affected? Like what's going on with them? We have the Queen of Cups and the Two of Wands reversed. Other people feel that they cannot move forward with us. They feel like plans are being ruined and cooperation is stagnating because there's not enough compassion being given. They're not feeling like they're being emotionally supported. Therefore, they can't make plans with us. They can't move forward and have hope for the future with us because they're not being emotionally supported. They're being othered. They're being ignored, left out in the cold, dismissed. That's why this shit's serious. That's why this shit's important. And here's more reasons why. What's the secrets? What didn't we realize? What didn't we know? What didn't I know? This sucks. Two of Cups and the Ten of Wands reversed. You are not doing any of the heavy lifting in your relationship. Your person is starting to see you as a burden that's not worth having. If things don't change, you could lose some people that are very important to you. You've got to be willing to make space for them. You've got to be willing to be wrong. You've got to take a back seat and let them be in charge. You've got to value their opinion, listen to their feelings, trust in their judgment, question your own judgment sometimes, stop and think before you speak. This is incredibly important. You're at risk of losing people right now because you've made them carry a lot of the water for the relationship, carry the burden for the relationship. They feel like, what am I doing all this for if it's just for their goals and their dreams and their aspirations and their will? What are we hoping for? We've got the Justice card. We do want fairness. We do want balance. We do want a proper give and take. We want that intellectually. But what has actually happened is the Three of Cups reversed and the Ace of Swords reversed. We've been lying to ourselves about how helpful we've been. If anything, we've not been supportive. And we're lying to ourselves and we're lying to others too. Oh, I help out. I do this. I do that. Like, no, they know. They wouldn't feel this way if that was the case, especially over the nines and tens here of such a long time. Yeah. I think this is a reckoning that we all have to accept right now. Is that we've been lying to ourselves about how helpful we actually are. We've actually been pretty damn selfish. And there's some growing up that needs to happen. This dependency situation can't go on. We're not in danger of giving too much. We're in danger of giving too little. What's the contribution? What have we contributed thus far? Three of Swords, Eight of Cups. And it's over the Two of Cups. The people that love us, we are breaking their hearts because they're forced to move on. Because we cannot reciprocate what they have to offer. Because we're making selfish choices. And that breaks their heart because they want to have a relationship with us. And it's not even that we're creating like so much chaos that it's very difficult. It's like, you have so many good qualities, Scorpio rising, But the fact that you're so self-interested and selfish and that I don't feel like I have a voice. I don't feel like I can lead myself. I don't feel like you're helping me as much as I'm helping you. You're too dependent on me to take care of things for you, or in the case of a friendship, too dependent on me that I always have to be the one to make plans or call you up or make things happen, that eventually I feel like I have to walk away because this is not emotionally fulfilling for me. And I mean, what needs releasing? It's the Queen of Wands. What's our limitation? What needs releasing? Queen of Wands. It's the ego. It's the I'm right. And they're both upright. It's not like this is just a jealous and petty energy. And the worst of what the Queen of Wands has to offer. It can be the absolute best. It's just too much. The Queen of Wands doesn't really need anyone in her life. And if you want people in yours, you've got to adopt a different mind frame, a different value system, and adjust. You can still be self-loving, confident, proud, inspired, creative. You can still be all those things. But when you do them to such an extent that they're snuffing out the flame, soaking up all the oxygen in the room, so obsessed with what's going on with oneself, so self-referential that others feel that they don't have any space in your life because it's already filled up with you, then you're going to lose people. And that's why it comes down to a choice. Because I don't really think that this spread is necessarily telling you that you're wrong for that. But what it's saying is that if you make the choice to continue as you have been with the Hangman reversed, you're going to lose people. And that's just the result. That's just the end of the situation. And there's definitely some healing that needs to be done. It's not about you. This is how I figured this out, okay? Maybe there is some for some people in this read, okay? But this is about healing relationships, making amends, making tangible, different choices that show these people that have been burdened by the relationship, that have been othered, that have been left out in the cold, that feel like they can't move forward with you because you're not doing your part, because you're all obsessed with yourself and involved with yourself. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about them. It just means that you feel you're more important. It's a natural, frame of reference for you. And that has to stop and change. And new behaviors have to be shown through action for them to believe that you've changed. And if they can believe that you've changed because you've shown them, then there can be deep emotional healing, and not before that. Talk is cheap. I mean, anyway, I'm sure my husband will love watching this because he'll be like, I told you. That's what I've been telling you. It's absolutely what he's been telling me. All right. Let's get a spell card for us here. Whoop. I feel like I only want one of these. Your home is your temple spell. To anoint your home and turn it into a protective shield for you and your loved ones, rub any of the following essential oils on your door jambs: cinnamon, clove, dragon's blood, or myrrh. Take the remaining essential oils and rub a bit on all the other doors and windows. Light anointed white candles and place them in the windows, then chant the words of this spell. My home is my temple. Here I live and love, safe and secure both below and above, and so it is by magic sealed. Okay, Scorpio rising. You know what I hoped for? I have to tell you. What I hoped for this reading, I wanted a reading that was telling us how we're such, we're just boss bitch of the world. And we are so right for telling people off and setting a strong boundary. And, we have the right of way of it. Like, that was literally what I was imagining for this spread. It's just that type of vibe carried me through a lot of difficulties when I was younger. And it helped a lot during all those times, but now it's just gotten too big for its britches. And it needs to be made balanced. It needs to be come into balance. Because it's pushing others away that we love. And it's making us dependent in a way I didn't really realize. You can't be a boss bitch and be dependent on others like that. So anyway, if you're still here and you're not too mad at me, I'm right here going through it with you as well. And hopefully next month we can come back and we can say we did that. We were honest with ourselves and we made changes, and now things are getting better for us and our people. So until then, have a good month. Bye.